Hello everybody, apa khabar semua? And welcome to the virtually Peranakan Fest 2021, keeping our spirit and our culture strong. My name is Alvin Un from Peranakan Sayang, and it's my pleasure to organize this festival for you and also to be your host. We hope that this annual 2-day non-stop online festival brings entertainment, knowledge, joy and comfort in these challenging times to babas and nyonyas and for those who love the culture around the world, as we all come together to celebrate all things Peranakan. Kamsahamnida semua datang sini sama-sama kita ya. Kita sama-sama happy wahi sekali ya. Now for the third program for day 2, we will now go to Malacca and cari my good friend, and he's also helping me as a co-host throughout this festival. He is a very talented guy. He can sing, he can write, he can do many things lah. He knows so much about the culture, and today he will share with us how we can apply Chinese New Year customs and traditional practices that is relevant today. So let's all go to Malacca and let's all visit Cedric Tan. Let's go! Hello, Cedric!
Hello, Pai Alvin.
Apa khabar, ba?
Everybody. Good afternoon.
Wow, how are you, ba?
I'm fine. Getting a bit fat, from the party last night. We had a little makan over dinner last night.
Wow,
yeah, a little bit here and there.
Wow, but your baju lawas eh?
In the mood for Lunar New Year already. Mau temaru lagi 2 bulan lagi.
Cepat say, eh? Now it's already, coming to December, and Chinese New Year is on the 1st of February, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So New Moon will be this Saturday. So that marks exactly 2 months more to go before we Sambot Tamaru.
So time really flies fast, and I hope that this coming Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, we all get to at least celebrate more than what we used to because of this past 2 years pandemic. It's been very muted, I must say, for the past couple of years. What do you think?
Looking forward very, very much. I think at least we managed to celebrate in the year 2020, but of course last year was a damper. We almost got it, but too bad we got to go under lockdown again.
That's right. Now, this topic is very, very interesting. I'm sure that many of our viewers would have some questions to ask. So if you do have any questions to our viewers, please post them in the comment section. So without further ado, Ba, it's up to you. It's your show.
I would think that you would need to help me with the slides. Yeah, thank you very much. So Babas and Nyonyas out there. Basically, what I'm going to share with you today, let's go to the next slide. That would explain everything, the objective of this presentation. Yeah. So basically, we are trying to understand some of the practices. I'm not going to delve into all the practices, but I'm just going to pick the meaningful ones and the ones that we can apply. Yeah. So besides practicing them, I think it is very important that we understand the symbolism. Yeah, what is being used, and more importantly, the meaning. And then having understand the meaning, then we can seek some form of relevance to this sort of practices, yeah? And then having understood everything, then that's how we can then transmit this knowledge and then encourage the next generation to pick them up, and also to make them some form of our community's cultural identity marker, yeah? And finally, yes, a little bit of comparative notes between practices in Singapore, Penang, and Malacca. So yes, this is going to be the first, the sort of like the red flag. Everybody, if you are not ready, if you don't intend to do anything, that is your red flag. That Chinese New Year is fast looming, and you have to start doing something about it. So Tang, or the Winter Festival, which happened that we will celebrate on the 21st of December this year. Yeah, please take note. This year, 21st December, not unlike any other years, 22nd of December. This year, we're going to celebrate it on the 21st of December. So Tang is where all the activities, the preparation, the baking, all will start for Lunar New Year. Next slide. So These are basically the activities that we're going to do, as we say, early preparation: baking, spring cleaning, shopping, buying clothes. Nowadays, hardly anybody sew their own clothes, yeah. And then we're talking about those, cutting the red papers, and some of us, we still do that, some form of decorative and artistic paper cards that we would stick on our presents and everything, yeah. And then, having said that, we will then attach to our presents and then exchange gifts just before the Lunar New Year. Next, please. So, look at that, yeah. Actually, it's not that difficult, yeah. For the ones with the gigi, we call it, there's a special scissors for that. You just cut, draw lines on the white paper, the red paper. You fold them nicely, then you draw lines and then you cut with the scissors. As for the ones with all the artifacty sort of design, the lotus shaped one or the square ones, all you need is just a sharp scissors and a small piece of red paper, and then you just fold into four and then you pandai cut, yeah. Any pattern. It doesn't have to be so artistic like this, like the lotus one. My grandmother just pick a square paper and then she just fold them and then just simply cut holes into them, and that's fine. Yeah, the idea is that you want to leave your mark onto these presents. So early baking. So we need to start baking. Some cakes can be made earlier. For example, love letters, you can start baking like, let's say, 3 months before Lunar New Year. So even right now, also people are already taking orders, So love letters can be made. Kuih bangkit. Also, we call it kuih koya, or the green pea kuih that you need to taruh water, you ayak. After that, you press into the mold, and then you sun dry, and then you put it in. Yeah. So all that you can prepare in advance. Next. Then, about 2 weeks before Lunar New Year, we will be busy preparing kuih bakol. So kuih bakol, you need to siapkan the daun pisang, and then you need to wash the cans and everything, and then after that lay the cans with banana leaf, and then at night you need to kacau the tepung, and then steam it for at least 12 to 14 hours, depending. Of course, nowadays there's we call it the shortcut version, where people caramelize the sugar first and then add on those packet flour into the caramelized sugar, and then short steam them for maybe about 2 hours, 3 hours. You can get almost the same impact, but of course, some people say, they still believe the traditional way. But whatever it is, I think it's the spirit, of wanting to prepare this very special delicacy for Lunar New Year. And why we need to prepare early, because that it take a few days for the cake to set, to keras a little bit, or else you can't remove it from the can. And next slide. By the 23rd of the 12th lunar month, we need to offer this to the kitchen god, because it is said that on the 24th day of the 12th lunar month, the kitchen god will ascend to heaven to submit his report regarding the happenings in the family. So in my family, when my grandmother was around, we used to give a send-off to the kitchen god on the eve of the so-called send-off day. That is on the 23rd of the 12th lunar month evening. So there will be sacrifices, kuih, and most importantly, the kuih bakol. Let's move on. So then more baking. So you got 1 more week to go, and then there's lots of baking more to go. But some cakes cannot be kept too long, so we need to prepare them only like a few more days before Lunar New Year. So things like tarts, kacau dodol, and also like, for example, the kuih bolu. Okay, all that cannot be kept too long, because otherwise, for example, the kuih bolu, the mold will grow. Likewise too, in those days for tarts, before we actually can we realized that we can store them in the fridge. We kept them in cans, Tang or whatever it is, and then we just keep it in the cupboard. So it won't last for more than 2 weeks. So that's why we need to prepare those cakes at least a few days before Lunar New Year. And having prepared that, and then you pack them nicely, you store them away. So let's go to the next slide. Then at the same time too, for families offering food to the ancestors for Semayang Abu and everything, you need to start preparing the rempah. Now, for achair or those pickled stuffed green chili and cucumber, you can prepare, let's say, 3 weeks to 1 month before Lunar New Year. But for the rest, like the rempahs, the rempahs for your lau all, you would prefer to actually prepare it as close as possible to the event, or even, let's say, on the eve of the Semayang day, if you like it to be very fresh. But nowadays, with the help of the fridge and the freezer, you can actually prepare your rempah way in advance. Yeah, so at this point of time, you will be very, very busy preparing all these rempahs. And these are some of the sort of delicacy that I prepared actually for my Semayang, my prayer to my ancestors. Yeah, so you can see the amount of rempah, and these are not all the dishes. Yeah, you have the kerang asam rempah, you have the satay rempah, pong teh, sio, and then I also have hati padi bungkus, the ngoh hiang, yeah, and also the chak angkwa. And besides that, I have the tohe and what call it, one more dish, I can't remember what's that. So yeah, we need to prepare the rempah and have them we need to freeze them in the freezer. And when I need it on the eve of the prayer day, I'll just take them out and then I'll cook it with the meat. Yeah, so that we can save a lot of time. Because if you want to start from scratch from the rempah side, it's the eve, and you're alone to handle everything, so you can't afford to waste too much time on the preparation, the early preparation of the rempah. All right, next. So it is at this point of time, the whole week before Lunar New Year, that after having completed your baking is when you decide to orang kata hantar barang. That's basically to say that you normally would want to send to someone else, your relatives or your close friends or your neighbors, some homemade or your personalized sort of cookies or rempahs or what, and this is the time that you send to them. Yeah, and why do you want to send them early? Because if for the recipient, they can use this as part of the cookies to present on their table during Lunar New Year, or they can use the rempah, or for example the kueh, to pray to their ancestors too. Yeah, so you do not send gifts after the first day of the Lunar New Year. That is why, if you notice, why when we go visiting, we go tangan kosong, because we have already delivered whatever that's needed to be delivered before the Lunar New Year. Yeah, so there is no need for us to hantar limau and everything. No need. Bawa diri, come, offer your obeisance, get your angpaos, and you're done. Okay. Then, of course, the decorating of the home part. You make your house beautiful, make it so welcoming. People want to come and visit your house, and you got a beautiful house. Oh, lovely! I love this. I know all that. Yeah. So this is the time of the year where you can show off. Yeah, whatever you have in your house. It's the next time, the second best looking. Your house will look second best, most beautiful after a wedding. Yeah. Lunar New Year is a nice time to visit. Yeah. Okay. Then, what do you need to do before Lunar New Year? Now, we must remember, some of us are very, very open-minded, very practical, but amongst us also there are elders who are still very traditional about their practices. So these are the little things that we can do in order for us to have a fun Lunar New Year celebration. So number one, every utang, if you utang money, please pay up. No IOU, you owe me. It should be orang kata cetong. Tau, you utang sia, go and pay. Okay, don't want to carry over your debts to the next year. Yeah, and then if you're mourning, you tuaha, please don't visit. Yeah. And those people who pai tikong very pantang, you can't visit them, because why? They cannot. It's considered sort of a dirty. Not say dirty in the bad form, but like you will defile. The family when you visit them. That means if you visit them, then they may have got to cancel their prayer and everything. So we should know wish as practicing Peranakan or being Peranakan themselves, if you are mourning, especially, nowadays people don't tuaha anymore, but, let's say someone passes away in your family, like one of your parents passed away. So you should remind yourself that for the first year, try not to visit, unless they specifically mention to you and say, "Gua tak pantang, boleh datang." And then that's a different matter altogether. But if they don't mention anything, please just say, "Sorry, I'm mourning this year. I won't be visiting." And then if you're not mourning, and then if you want to celebrate New Year and you want to pai tikong and everything, then the moment the kitchen deity ascends heaven, that's on the 24th of the 12th lunar month, you do not go for wakes anymore. Keep yourself busy at home. Just if you need to send your condolences, you can hantar Bikin, send your condolence money, but please do not attend the wake. Even if there are situation where people don't pai tikong at home, but some elders they pantang, when they hear you attending wake right after the ascent of heaven, kitchen god to heaven, they pantang, they don't like the idea, because why? As though like orang baru mati datang cari uang, as though you're sending bad vibes. So again, please take note of all these pantangs. And as good relatives and friends, if you know of someone who is mourning, do present them kueh bakul, because those we call it in mourning cannot bake kueh bakul pantang. All right, next screen. Now, every year this is the same question I would receive. When do we naik caiki? When do we raise the lantern? For us in Malacca, it's very simple. It's always the day before you pray to your ancestors for Lunar New Year celebration. That is the day before you semayang abu. Now, if you don't semayang abu, it is always the eve of Lunar New Year. Why do we hang caiki? We must ask ourselves, why do we hang caiki? Caiki is a marker. That means to announce to everybody that we are now in a celebrative mood, and then we are approaching a celebration day or period. And Lunar New Year is considered a celebration. Similarly, like wedding, when do we hang a caiki during the wedding? That is the day before you do your sangjit, or you present exchange presents, gifts between families. And then it is normally held 1 week before the wedding. So the caiki will be left from the eve of the sangjit over the wedding ceremony. And then the moment the wedding ceremony, everything is over, you bring down the caiki and lantern. So I've known of cases, people like, wow, 1 week before already sudah naik caiki and thing, very kanchong to celebrate. But it's like, perhaps if you understand the culture better, why we hang the caiki, then you can understand why we especially those traditionalists, we just hang on. We don't have to be in a hurry to announce that we are going to celebrate New Year. Unlike in Singapore, I understand that they would naik their caiki on the 24th of the 12th lunar month, 1 week before. Yes, so that's Singapore's practice. But in Malacca, it is always the day before semayang abu. If not, it's the day, it's the Lunar New Year Eve. So after you hang caiki, the next day will be the prayer, the day where you honor your ancestors. You cheer them, or you announce to them that Lunar New Year is just around the corner, and then you offer to them lauk semayang. And that's where your rempahs all come in handy, especially if you are the modern kind of person, you don't have much time at home. So the rempahs you just take out on the eve, and then you sejukkan, and then you tumiskan the, what we call it, you cook together with your meat, and then I would keep it overnight so that the flavors all would seep into the meat, and then next morning panaskan, you heat up the meat and then semayang. Then that's how you get the best lauk after that to makan. So this is where you announce to your ancestors, and that's why we always hang the caiki on the eve of of semayang abu for Lunar New Year season. Next. And in the evening, on the eve of the Lunar New Year, these are the things that we can put on the altar, or if you don't have an altar, you can put somewhere in your house, yeah, as a marker that we are celebrating New Year. When we look on the altar and then we see this stack of what we call it oranges, we know that this is Lunar New Year prayer or something. It has something to do with Lunar New Year. And besides that, on the altar too, we would place these three objects: a bowl of conical rice, and then where we would have planted in that cone of rice a bunch of ixora flower and a stalk of spring onion. Then in the middle we have the hot kueh, which is placed on the kueh bakol. And then in another bowl itself, there will be a young anak sawi, yeah, mustard plant, which we would dip into water. Now, if you look at the Hokkien analogy, yeah, we call the rice as spring rice or chun peng, yeah. Chun as per spring, peng is rice. But it also sort of rhymes or has the same sound as chun, extra. Well, my Hokkien not very perfect, yeah. But the same sound as for bountiful, excessive, yeah, spillover sort of rice. So it connotes that, for this whole year that you will have lots to eat, yeah, that you will be never short of rice. And as for the vegetable, the chai, it becomes lak. See, so the word for vegetable rhymes with lak. So you have excessive food, you have excessive luck. So these are the good wishes in the form of symbolism that we place on the altar. Yeah, and kueh bakol and the hot to represents that there's bountiful, that everything comes overflowing. That's why you huat. Yeah, the sweetness. From the sweetness, you huat. So these three things are things that we will place on our altar when we want to sambut Taon or we want to greet the New Year. Plus a pair of bowls with these oranges stacked on it. Yeah. So, but if you don't have an altar, you can leave it somewhere in another part of the house, or just a little table at the side, something like this. The next slide, please. Something like this, yeah. Pressed rice with a fresh stalk of flour planted into it, and just a bowl of mustard green. If you don't have mustard green, that's fine. Yeah, a bowl of rice will be sufficient. A conical bowl of rice would be more than enough to symbolize that you are wishing for abundance of food in the house, which then indirectly translate to abundance of good luck and prosperity. So this is the impact, the outcome that we want to see. And after placing this material on the altar table, on the 4th day of Lunar New Year, when the kitchen god descend from heaven, we would take a peek at the rice, yeah? And from the color of the rice, you can sort of predict what's going to happen throughout the coming year. So in this case, if you can see the rice, there seems to be golden orange mold growing in it. So you can say that, it's going to be a bountiful year, it's going to be a good year. But if you see black spots growing in the rice, then you say, do expect a bit of a problem, yeah, along the way. So in a way, it's a form of, a traditional form of telling yourself, okay, what do you expect from the coming year? Yeah, pretty interesting way of predicting. Yes, and when you talk about Lunar New Year, there are also some other taboos here involved. So, my parents and my grandmother always say, yeah, pergi rumah orang pakai semua tok sami hitam, yeah, at least lah, for the whole year, you have 365 days. For at least these few days, please lah, yeah, don't wear black lah, keep your black clothes aside. Put on something bright, and when you go visiting, people look at you, they also be happy. Okay, so this is a happy occasion, not a sad one. Yeah, so please keep your black clothes until everything is over. Yeah. Then the usual one, don't sweep the floor, don't wash your clothes. Yeah, basically it's an off day. It's a happy day. You want to relax, so house chores, everything off for the day. Yeah. And when we greet the New Year, when we open the door, when we greet the New Year, we will turn all the lights on. Basically, we want to invite the good chi to come in, to attract all this good positive energy into the house. And of course, on the first day, don't lah gaduh-gaduh, yeah. Happy a bit lah, smile. If anything pun tak shock pun, just smile, keep it, yeah. And let's have a good and happy start for the year. Next slide, please. So yes, the moment we open our door, so we will offer incense to Tikong, to the deities in the house, and also to our ancestors. Now, this is a normal practice, yeah. Some of us, I also understand that some Christians too, they do attend church morning mass, Lunar New Year mass. Well, that's pretty, I would say, something very, very interesting, yeah, where religion sort of adapts itself with the local culture. Let's go to the next slide. But what reminds us of Lunar New Year is not only what we see, but the lingering scent that stayed in our minds, yeah. And when I was young, the most important smell that I can always remember is the smell of the stangi. The stangi is a concoction of agarwood, sandalwood with diced fresh, what we call it, sugarcane, and then mixed with sugar, and then you keep them moist, and then you burn it on the ember, and then you can get that wonderful smell. I can't just tell you how it smells like, but the moment you smell it, it reminds you of Lunar New Year or a wedding, yeah. And another scent that you can always place in the house is the scent of the bunga rampai. Yeah, that is something easier to achieve. Now, but if you want something close to stangi, you can try to use those aromatherapy essential oil extracted from agarwood. Yeah, that will be quite close to the smell. Next slide, please. Now, this is part and parcel of our culture, paying obeisance, or we call it soja, to our elders. Let me tell you how we do it, yeah? For the gentlemen, we would kuih, or we kneel on the floor, we clasp our hand together, and then we wish for elders, yeah? Some of us even we kowtow. That means we basically knock our head on the floor 3 times to our elders. Let's take a look how the Nyonyas does it. No, Nyonya does not kuih. They jongkok and sembah, yeah? Basically, they squat and they put their hands together like this in Anjali form, and then they would then utter their good wishes, yeah? So, as we say, jantan kuih, Nyonya sembah. So, you notice why they sembah and why they jongkok is because when they wear sarong, when you kuih, you will dishevel your sarong. So by squatting, your sarong will be still neat, and tidy when you rise. Next slide, please. So these are all the good wishes that you can utter during when you wish your elders and friends. Panjang-panjang umur, normal. Badan kuat-kuat. That is, if someone is, for example, for a lady or a gentleman, let's say if they are 80 years and above, panjang-panjang umur may not be so much relevant here, but you would want to wish them a healthy body and life, yeah? So that they can live without pain and suffer much, yeah, at this age. Then, of course, everybody untung selalu, that you can probably, that you can be profitable. Murah-murah jerky. For the youngsters will be pandai-pandai surat, yeah? And then, or for the younger still ones, you want them to grow quickly, cepat-cepat besar. And those who finish study, started working, then you say, cepat-cepat kahwin, that sort of thing, or ringan-ringan jodoh, that wishing them a quick marriage. Yeah. Next slide. Then after soja, your parents and your elders, then you go for your annual visitation. First of all, if you are not Christians, then you would go to the temples. Then you go as many temples as possible, and then only you will drop by the ancestral home to pay homage to your ancestors. Okay, and then you continue on visiting your elders. Yeah, in those days they go by chronology. That means who's more senior, they go first. But of course nowadays everybody they plan their journey in such a way so that they will cover everybody, but without having gone through crisscrossing the town. Yeah, so one trip around town rather. Then when you drop by our homes, you will see these two types of delicacies being served. Not only you will see the kuih, but also we call them the sweet meats. Yeah. Why do we serve sweet meats? Because in China those days, it takes you days for you to travel between villages to visit your relatives. So normally you'll be tired, and so how do you boost your energy? Is that the first thing you bite would be something sweet and something that is being preserved and sweet. It's just like the Muslims, after they fast, the first thing that they will take would be dates. Yeah. So this is a similar thing that we practice. Yeah. That means the moment you step into someone's house, the first thing you bite would be the sweet meats. Then only you go for the kuih. Yeah. That's why you have this tray of sweet meats. And then of course during Lunar New Year you have your favorite FNN orange squash or orange juice. Yeah. That goes without saying. Now, this is an important event for the Babas and Nyonyas, those traditional ones. That is the Smaing Tikong or the Hokkien New Year. Very important day because this reminds us of the day where the Hokkiens were saved many centuries ago. So it is like a Thanksgiving Day, a so-called Hokkien Thanksgiving Day. So it's a very big day. Some even say it is even supposed to be grander than the Lunar New Year. And having said so, we offer our thanks to the King of Heaven for that second gift of life. So if you have gone for wakes and everything, please do not drop by. Okay, even your morning, please do not visit them. Orang pantang. Yeah. Next screen. And if you happen to stay in a small place, and if you have previously observed the Pai Tikong, but because of the small place you cannot offer prayer, what you can do is that you can visit the temple where they have communal prayers. Yeah. So in Malacca you can either go to the Gunting temple or the Chaiteng Perempuan at Kubu, and you can subscribe and then you can offer your prayers to Tikong. And finally, on Chap Go Meh Day, in Malacca is rather festive, yeah, because not only do we have the religious aspect of the we call it the day, we also may have the fun part of the Chap Goh Meh. The fun part would be normally like in Malacca, we used to have fancy dress parties, and then we would drop by from home to home, makan, have some fun, and in some cases, even for a sort of fundraising project. But on the religious aspect, Malacca here we have the annual the Datuk Ong Ya or the Ong Ya Kong procession on Chap Goh Meh Day, plus we call it the Masi Magam. That is where Lord Subramaniam, the effigy, will be taken out from the temple at Temple Street and would make its way to Ch'ng. So we call it Datuk Ch'ng, yeah. And sometimes, if Chinese New Year is in January, you may find that it may coincide with Thaipusam. So either way, you will get either Thaipusam or Masi Magam during Chap Goh Meh. But for the Peranakans, we also treat this as a very special day where we would bring the holy fire home. So we do not actually transport the real fire home, but we use an indirect method where we would offer joss sticks. Next slide, please. Yeah, we light incense at the Ch'ng temple. We stick it into the incense urn, and then having left them there for about 5 to 10 minutes, then we would just lift up this this incense and transport this incense stick home. And then from the embers of the incense, we would use a matchstick and ignite the fire to light our candles at home. So that's how we transfer the holy fire home. Let's take a look at the next part, yeah? I had the opportunity to be in Penang for a few times in conjunction with the Dondang Sayang show. Yeah, and whilst in Penang, as they say, while you're there, you also have fun. Yeah, since it's Chap Go Meh, I was fortunate enough to see this time the Thaipusam procession, where the silver and the gold chariots were out on the streets. Yeah, so managed to capture these two processions side by side. And then someone also brought to us the Peranakan offered to ancestors and also to deities during Chap Goh Meh. So we had a taste of the Penang pengat pisang, yeah. And in the evening, we hop on the bus organized by the Straits Chinese Penang Association, and we went around town singing songs and we sang Dondang Sayang. So that's how we had fun, yeah. But I understand also there's also an exchange of holy fire in Penang, and in Penang's case, the embers were actually brought directly to the door, yeah, and then they just exchange embers, and they would ignite fire from those embers. So every place has its own approach of exchanging fire. And last but not least, the Lunar New Year, when everything is over, please don't forget to bring down your lantern and your chai key. Now we have seen, I've seen cases where many people would have lowered their chai key and Tang on the 16th day, or sometimes 17th day, which is fine. Yeah, 1 or 2 days. Normally we call it the rest day or the cleanup day. But I've even heard of people they extend it all the way to Cheng period. I guess we need to understand the reason why in the first place we hang chai key. Yeah, that it is we are celebrating the Lunar New Year, which lasted for 15 days. So anything beyond that, I think is just basically is to show that we don't understand our culture well. Yeah. So remember, these are markers. So markers are to inform public of what we do and whether we are in a celebrative mood or whether someone has passed away. So it has got to be up and down appropriately. Yeah. So with that, I've come to the end of my session, and I would like to wish everyone out there, Kyong Hee Hua Chai. Yeah, may you have a most happy and most prosperous Lunar New Year of the Tiger. Kamsia banyak-banyak.
Wow, Ba, that was a fantastic presentation, Ba. That was so nice, and you really feel that Chinese New Year is just around the corner, so better siap
very
much preparation.
Yeah, it's just to educate. I guess my job is just to educate, and we also want everybody to understand that we all celebrate, but the meaning part is very important. Yeah, and in order to make it very, very relevant to all of us, we should practice what we understand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I've just observed. I mean, I understand totally about the chai key. You put it up before Chinese New Year on Chinese New Year Eve, and then, as you said, on the 16th, as if I'm not wrong, to bring it down after the Chinese 15 days is over. Mm-hmm. But I do observe. I don't know whether this is right or wrong. I do observe some Chinese families. They have the chai key on all year round. Is that something different, or they just lazy to take it down? So,
I've seen cases in Malacca too where it's like all year round. I guess sometimes they say it has got to do with feng shui.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not. It's probably only specific for that family because of certain issues in the family. But as a general form, I mean, for any guys, any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, I guess what is normal is that when you make an announcement like Lunar New Year is from the first Chang Go, so we want to announce that celebrate during this particular period of time. So it goes up before and comes down right after.
Right. Yeah. There's so many questions going on, but I think you've addressed most of them already. There's a whole conversation going on in the comment section, especially on our Facebook page. A lot of cakap like everybody having a good time, like one family like that gathering. But one question that perhaps you can answer is from Matthew. Is it all right to go for house visits on the third day of Chinese New Year?
I guess those days they pantang. They say third day is like supposed to be a rest day, but I guess I'm also kind of practical, yeah. I can understand why people say third day is a rest day because the eve will be sort of very heavy days. Stream of people will be visiting the house, so you really need a break in between, and therefore you don't sort of go out visiting, which means also people will not visit you. So you get a break between. But I guess now with the aircon houses, rooms, and so I don't think that's an issue right now.
Yeah.
Plus, we always would call first,
Hello?
Unlike those days, we just drop in suddenly, hello, what's up?
Yes,
That
yes.
sort of thing.
So
The
am
real
I right
concept
to
of open house.
yes? So is it right to say that the traditions and customs over time has also evolved? I suppose like on the third day now, if you go, it's not a big issue.
I guess it's not a big issue. I've relatives who also visited each other on the third day because I think it's also convenient. For example, especially if they're outstation. I mean, how can I say if it's like a weekend, the third day is on a Saturday or Sunday, and they say, oh, no, come and visit on Saturday. I mean, you know, we also must be very, very
Hospitable, gracious, right? Yeah, correct. So this next question is about using a chai key. Do we have to change one every year or not?
Oh, no need. After you take
eh?
down, just give a quick rinse, get all the dirt off the chai key, hang dry. I mean, call it air dry it. You sun dry it, the color will fade very, very fast. Yeah. So just air dry, and then after that iron lipat lah. Then next day you tie the lotus flower again lah. And hang.
Maybe it's mistaken. Usually you buy new baju every year. That one is
everything
common.
you change. Everything except your chai key in your lantern.
I don't know whether it's commonly practiced when I was young. My mom made sure that I had new pajamas every year.
Everything is new, even your underwear
That's right.
too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mom, what happened to underwear? Okay. How about this one? Like flags, is there a proper way to dispose of chai key?
Well, in my family, what we do is that we would roll up and then we would keep them aside. Yeah. I don't know what we can do with old chai keys, but sometimes if you don't use them, we will just burn them. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
don't buang chai keys barang lah. We call it.
yeah lah, but I think it's of a different status to a national flag because that is more of a national symbol.
Yeah.
Whereas chai key is more traditional.
Chai key, it is your chai, your good luck. You hang your good luck out there. See, so that it must be also given a proper treatment if you want to let it go when you want to change a chai key.
Yeah, our friend says normally it's not a practice to wash the chai key.
We have to wash the chai key. You know why? Because the dust accumulated in the chai key is really, really a lot. If you just soak it in the water would turn brown. So if you want to use the chai key for next year, we wash. Yeah, but as I say, I don't spin dry everything. I just hand wash, just dip in water and just to get the dust off, and then I air dry. This is a pretty common practice here in Malacca, actually, like that.
Okay, just a couple of points because we're talking about the third day of Chinese New Year. Some people call it the Beggar's Day. And David is also saying normally we don't visit on the third day. I guess that is a traditional practice, as what
very,
Cedric
very traditional,
mentioned.
I must say.
Yeah. But I
think
as
we
mentioned,
need to look at it in a modern context. Yeah, I'm not saying that we should not be practicing, but I realize that nowadays, if you tell people don't visit you on the third day, but youngsters they will just do it. To me, is that I don't mind. Frankly speaking, I don't mind.
It doesn't.
But I understand the underlying reason why we cannot go out on the third day, because we know that the past few days will be a very sort of heavy day for people, preparing and going on visitation and everything.
Right. Now, there's Diana says that the Cucu Haley birthday falls on 1st Feb. Is that any significant?
Same day as New Year. You mean dia beranak, dia punya Chinese New Year, dia punya what we call it Chinese Age on the Ch'ng Rumah.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has that too. So what we do is that when we go and visit them on the Ch'ng Rumah day, we would just cut a cake as well. So besides the normal Chinese New Year spread, we have also maybe a chocolate cake this year, next year, or something else.
So Joseph has also asked the same question, but what if the chai key has faded? Of course, we can change the
Yes,
the
if
chai
chai
key.
key is faded, do change. Yeah.
And then there's another one. What if koyak?
Yeah.
Of course, you can change it.
Chai key, when you hang, you must make sure that the chai key is in good form, yeah, because it represents your chai. If your chai sudah berlubang, sudah koyak, it's telling you that your whatever your good luck will be leaking away. So you want to change a new chai key. Yeah.
Okay,
Remember, when you buy chai key, it must be odd length,
Odd length.
odd in number. We call it odd metered length. Yeah. It cannot be even. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I think that's all the time we have. Kamsia Ba for that fantastic sharing of Lunar New Year. That I think everybody enjoyed it very much from all the comments.
Kamsia banyak-banyak.
Thank you.
Tuning in.
Yes, and I'll be catching you later at 5 p.m. joining in the fun.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun afterwards.
We're going to have lots of fun. So thank you very much, Ba, for that wonderful presentation from Malacca. Baba
Sama-sama.
Kamsia Ba. Well, everybody, we've come to the end of this program. Thank you, everybody, for all your comments and joining us. And do join us for the next program. It's happening at 4 p.m. It's more daily Nyonya dishes and afternoon reading with Chef Tan. So that's going to happen very shortly. Thank you for joining us here at our virtually Peranakan Fest 2021. Let's keep our culture and our spirit strong. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.